I think my spiritual path and philosophy has come down to living life as a gangster. At least LARPing at being a gangster, if you know what I mean. So often, there's this common sheep inside of us. I call him the little man. And the little man wants certain things. He's trying to force life into a certain outcome. He also really cares about the ups and downs in life, the pain and pleasure of life. And he's always worried, what is that girl thinking about me? How are my YouTube videos gonna do? He's always worried about the future when the gangster just really doesn't give a shit. He's just going through life with power, with vitality. And it's really interesting to me is that women seem to be attracted to criminal types of men. They are attracted to the mafia man, the serial killer, the pirate, the gangster. Why? These men have this almost superior quality to them in the sense that they don't care for the things that rule most men's lives. And it's interesting to me is that the criminal archetype of a human is also very similar to the spiritual sage and the philosopher, which is wild. In the sense that the spiritual sage doesn't give a shit for the worldly concerns and doesn't give a shit for his own personal suffering or pleasure. And the philosopher doesn't care for conventional thinking. He doesn't care for the laws and conventions of his society. He's going to question everything. All of these men have this edge. And the fact that they wield this power of not giving a shit makes them superior to other types of human beings, makes them superior to themselves. And it gives them this magnetic charm, this charisma, this superhuman quality. And we can all experience this quality on a daily basis. In the sense of if you're struggling with something, just remember it doesn't really matter in the long-term scheme of things. And the more you can remember that and just stop caring so much about all these petty things in life, the more free you're gonna be, the more authentic you're gonna express your nature, and the more confident you're going to become. I was just experiencing this at dance yesterday. I was dancing with some beautiful women, and as it happens, my ego started to get involved because there was this one woman, and me and her had some history. And I started thinking about her, and what is she thinking about me? How does she feel towards me? Is she avoiding me? Blah, blah, blah. And then I caught myself, and I'm like, bro, I literally don't even care. I don't care if we have a future. I don't even care that we had a history. I don't care what she thinks about me. In fact, I don't really care for the opinion of anyone in this room. This is gonna be a forgotten dream in 24 hours. Just be free. And with that, I just had this vitality boost, this confidence boost to just stop caring about all these petty shit. And I have to constantly remind myself of that. But when that kind of shift happened, I just noticed that all these men and women around me and the women I was dancing with just seemed a lot more open to me, a lot more attracted to me because I was relaxed. There was no eagerness in me. There was no hidden motive. There was no manipulation. I was just being real. And people are attracted to this quality, especially this quality in men, is this masculine edge of a man who trusts himself. He's this real because he's not looking for anything because he has everything. And this is the gangster energy. So I think this video and this idea came about from my recent time in the wilderness, 3 weeks out there. And maybe for the first time in my life, I felt fully content with my solitude, with myself. I didn't need anyone, anything. I was quite happy and enjoying myself. And coming back into the city, into the world here, I'm bringing this mentality with me. It's I don't really need anything out of this world. I know I'm gonna be successful. I know I'm gonna make it. What matters? What actually matters? Increasing my vitality, being exactly and authentically who I am, and having the best time ever. Relationships, they matter. My work, it matters. But you can't really control these things. You can't control what people are gonna think about you. You can't control what that woman, if she's gonna be attracted to you. You can't control how successful you are. You can do your best, but honestly, all you can do is live as your most vital self. All of it doesn't matter. And the crazy thing is the more F you, I don't really care kind of energy you have, the more people want to be around you because you're real. So, and this YouTube channel is a testament to that. It's just like, this is who I am, and welcome. If you enjoy me, cool. If not, like, I'm going to trigger a lot of people. Just get out of here. And I wanted to break down, like, how I'm adopting this mentality on a daily basis and 3 steps I see to becoming more of a spiritual gangster in the non-New Age sense, in the realist sense of that word. Number 1 is, I think it's so important to be content with nothing. If you're not, like, once you lose everything, you're free to do anything. When you're not scared of losing that person or that thing, like when you are self-reliant and independent, you're not dependent on anything in this world. Therefore, you come at the world with a lot less eagerness, with a lot less neediness, with a lot less trying to prove yourself kind of energy. It's just very authentic. It's very real. And you got an edge then. So that's like step 1 is, how can we let go of things that we are subject to? My friends, for almost all of my life, I've been a slave to a substance. I've been a slave to a person. I've been a slave to an idea. I've been a slave to a dream. Like, I've been a slave to a virtue. We all have these things, vices and virtues, that we let ourselves be subjected to. And the first step of absolute freedom of the gangster is to come back into your true center. And this gets into step 3, which is the transcendent self, which we're going to get to. Step 2. Okay, step 1, that's some heroic work. That's going to take some courage to let go of things that aren't in your best interest. But my friends, freedom and vitality are what you really want. Everything else is vain. Like, freedom and vitality, that's thriving right there. And vitality is the second step. The interesting thing I've realized is that as I've increased my energy by changing my diet, by prioritizing bedtimes and sleep, and like training, sun, steel, all these things, as I've increased my vitality, the more confident I am naturally and the less I care about outcomes. And that's because with vitality, your life becomes more of an authentic expression of who you are. Meaning, I'm not putting all this force into like working this job in order to get the money at the end of the day. I'm actually just trying to enjoy life, increase vitality, and do instinctually what I want to do with excellence. And I have a lot of videos about this, but as you're increasing your vitality, life almost becomes a little bit more effortless. And because you have vitality, you have more peaceful joy, and you care less about outcomes because it's not about the destination. It's about like fucking celebrating as much joy and power and prosperity and peace now. So increasing your vitality, and the interesting thing is that's what healthy life is. Healthy life is vital. And when you're vital, what are you? You're relaxed because you have power. The more scarce you are in your own worldview, the more low your energy is, the more you're craving something, the more you need people, the more you need things, the more you feel insecure about the future. But the more powerful you become on a daily basis, the more secure you are in the future because you can trust yourself. And this is what masculinity is to me. A masculine man is a man who trusts himself because he's taken responsibility for his life. He lives with power. He lives with a will to power and vitality. And because of that, he's able to adapt to any challenging circumstances that arise. He trusts himself, and therefore other people trust him. And he doesn't care so much to front in any way. He can be more of an authentic expression of who he is. And it comes down to vitality. The more vital you are, the more confident you are, the more relaxed you are, the more of a gangster you can be. And step 3 here is actually the spiritual path of connecting with this energy of transcendence. Transcendence, I used to pray to God, Jesus. I've gone down many different spiritual traditions, yoga, tantra, Buddhism, and have whatever you want to pray to, but make sure you have something that you do pray to, and associate that thing with transcendence. Transcendence is the overcoming, the self-overcoming of life. And I put at my center what some philosophers call the transcendent domain. And it's this capacity to overcome your own individuality, You see, you have a lot of resistances in your ego. You have fears and doubts in your ego, like, oh, what is she thinking about me? Oh, I don't want to do that right now. Oh, I'm fearing the future. Like all of this little man talk going on inside of you. Oh, I'm going to quit early. And the more that you cultivate the sense of like, I don't give a fuck kind of attitude, this spiritual transcendence over your own individuality, the more free you can be. And this is so important. In order to like throw out that cigarette and not return to it, in order to let go of that person, in order to overcome resistance and doubt and like follow your instincts, it's going to take a lot of courage. It's going to take a lot of self-overcoming. And even the last 3 days I moved, right? Back to a spot in Denver. And whenever I move, I tend to get really tired. My body just like gets stressed out by the new environment. I'm not sleeping right. I just get really tired. So I lost my second pillar of vitality. And in that, you know, my work felt really hard. I started stressing about the future, like, who am I? What am I gonna do? Blah, blah, blah. I started like wanting things and needing things. And then inside of all of that, I just started breathing. And the transcendent came back to me because I was up against strong opposition. And the transcendent usually returns to me when I'm up against opposition internally. And it's kind of this like heroic energy of just, dude, this shit is petty. This is so petty. Like you're gonna have strong energy again in a day or in 2 days. Like that craving's gonna be gone in a day. And I think the more that we can connect to a spiritual path of transcendence, of transcending these mortal concerns as something like as literally inferior to you, they're beneath you. The more you connect to that superior part of self, I guess the more stoic, the more Nietzschean, the more of an overman you can become. And I say this, but it's true. Like men of faith, men of a strong connection to transcendence or heroism tend to live with less concerns, with less worries. The little ups and downs of life don't affect them as much because they are anchored in something superior to this world. And this is really important, is having a spiritual connection to something superior to you. So yeah, it comes down to not needing anything or anyone, being in a fuck you position. Number 2, vitality. And number 3, connection to transcendence. And this is a video as much for me as for anyone else out there. I'm just clarifying my own path right now. Is as you cultivate these 3 things, you just care less. For the first time in my life, my friends, like I really don't care about women. It's crazy. All I want is more vitality, power, prosperity, joy in my life. I'm making progress on so many fronts. And because of that, I don't even think about, you know, like pornography. I don't even think about trying to get a girl to like me. It's more so like, hey lady, like you want to come to me to this concert I'm going to tonight with a few of my friends that I'm actually doing? She didn't text me back. I don't even care, right? It's almost like, yeah, like I'll invite you guys to join. I'm going to go out and have great times. I'm going to talk to women, but I don't really care about outcomes as much anymore. And this kind of gangster energy is intoxicating to people. I was just talking to a woman yesterday and like she immediately turned fully towards me and was just so receptive to me because I had this energy of just being myself. Like I don't really care what you think about me. Yeah, I got long hair. I'm a wild man sweating, you know. And yeah, just had a great interaction. I just keep having this recurring experience of having great interactions with people, of having more success in my business, more success on YouTube. You can see me fucking fixing my hair here. Obviously, I care about my image in some ways. I think it's natural. Like we all care what people think. We care what women think. We care about having success. We fear the future. These are all human things. What I'm encouraging you to do is become more than human. Is connect to that spiritual essence of transcendence and connect to that part of you that is a fucking gangster, that doesn't care anymore. And that is liberation, my friends. If we want to live a life of vitality, of liberation, of freedom, and like authentic thriving in your highest timeline, in your highest destiny, this is the energy I think that's most important to cultivate, especially for men out there. Go be gangsters. That is your spiritual source, my friends. Thanks for watching. I'm Christian. If you are a builder out there, If you want to join a community of other builders, of men who are on a mission or finding their mission and celebrating that mission together, come join my men's community. It is awesome what we got going on in there in terms of accountability circles, challenge groups, writing, masterminds, so much good stuff happening. There's a link in the description to talk to me one-on-one about it. Thanks for being here, friends. If you like this video, please subscribe, and you can click here for another one that you might be interested in. Peace.